Hi, I'm Rob Boyd, an English photographer from the UK. I decided to create this podcast series talking to international photographers whose work I truly love. I realised I knew nothing about these amazing people apart from their names and their stunning work. So I created a set of hopefully entertaining questions that finds out who they are and what they love. All right, thank you for joining me. Nice to see you. If you can start with your name and your Instagram name, that'd be brilliant.
So my name is Rui. It's not the easiest name to pronounce, so you can call me Mr. Mundane. My Instagram name is Embrace the Mundane.
And have you got a website?
I do not have a website. I don't think that this internet thing is gonna stay.
Yeah, that AI rubbish doesn't work. Yeah, absolutely. So where do you live, Mr. Mundane?
I live in a quiet suburb of the quiet London borough of Ealing. It's very far from the centre. It's west of West London.
Excellent. And where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from northern Portugal, but I've lived in the UK longer than I've lived in Portugal. So where am I from, really?
Yeah. And do you get back much? Do you get a chance to visit?
I used to get back once or twice a year when my parents were alive, but now I have not been back in at least 5 years.
Okay. So no plans that you know of yet?
And I might go in October to see my nieces. They've been estranged, but now they seem to have shown an interest in meeting me again. So fingers crossed for that.
That's brilliant. So if I visited you, where would you take me to shoot?
Well, everybody goes to Soho to shoot when they come to London. And because I'm a contrarian, I don't go to Soho at all to shoot. I would take you around my suburbs and show you the beauty of the mundane around here.
That's brilliant. It's nice to see a different area completely, and obviously with someone who's done it a lot. I normally ask, are there any places to visit as a tourist? But obviously you're London, so I guess there's plenty.
Yes, indeed. There are a few of those, yes.
So moving on, what's your favourite destination in the world?
That would be my bed. But seriously, I'm one of those fortunate people who live in their favourite place in the world, so I'm very fortunate.
Perfect, absolutely. So where would you most like to visit in the world then?
I'm not that keen on travel, so I don't really have any ambition of visiting anything. It's been 5 years since I've last been to Portugal, and I'm kind of homesick, so that would be my next destination.
Sounds like a good choice. Excellent. So if you could time travel, I know it's weird, where and when would you visit?
That's kind of easy. That's USA in the 1960s. I would follow Nina Simone around on tour.
Wow. Nina Simone, yeah, she was a bit of a legend. Excellent stuff. So, well, if you could photograph anyone in history, who would you shoot?
Well, there has to be Nina Simone. She was bonkers, and I would be very intimidated, but she was the most charismatic and beautiful woman.
I think that's the thing when people are, got character and something about them, they're always got two sides, haven't they, really?
I mean, she was photographed enough. I'm not saying that I would like to go back to photograph her better than she was photographed, because that would be very, very hard. No, but just the opportunity to be in her presence.
Yeah, perfect answer. Great. So tell me a fun fact or a story about yourself.
It's not very fun, but I'm a charity shop junkie. I'm constantly in charity shops looking for photography books. And I find them, a lot of them, and incredible bargains. So I have a problem. I have piles of books everywhere.
But that's amazing because you're not paying a fortune for them either. Yeah, my wife's like that with clothes. She's exactly the same as you, but you've got an eye for a bargain.
I'm like that with clothes as well.
Yeah, there you go. We have to, get together with her and she'll show you all the ones around here. So what's your favourite word?
Favorite word would have to be irony. It's so easy to apply, but often hard to get.
Yeah, Excellent. As a British person, I get that. uh, as an international podcast, teach me a new word or a saying that I may not know.
I would like to teach you about a Portuguese word called saudade. Um, there isn't a direct translation. There isn't a word in English that has the same meaning, but it's kind of like an intense longing. And it's a word that very much describes the Portuguese spirit. We're a very downbeat kind of people. We're always longing for the glorious past of the empire or longing for something.
And it was Soldad. Was that right?
So that
All right. Excellent. Yeah. See, I'm learning. Always learning on this podcast. It's amazing. So next question. When did photography click for you? Obviously, excuse the pun, but what moment did you realize you could take a good photo?
it's a long story. That I suppose I can divide into 3 chapters. I did shoot as a teenager with my parents' film camera, but not more than a handful of times, not with any intent whatsoever. I started getting my own cameras in the late 2000s, compact cameras, point and shoot type cameras. And I was using them just to document holidays, family events, that kind of thing. I enjoyed it, but never thought of myself as a photographer or photography as something interesting to do. I look back at those photos and they still have an image quality that surprises me, because I moved on to mobile phones when I got the iPhone 4S. So in 2013, that's when I got one of those. And I have then for years, the photos of those memories of those events taken with a mobile phone in much worse quality than what I had done in the past. I was better at it than my relatives and friends. So people were always saying that I should be the one taking the photos, and as a result, I'm not in any of the photos myself. So that was first contact with cameras and digital photography. Really didn't think of myself as a photographer. Enjoyed it, but not in the same way that I can say I enjoy photography now. Then 2019, we were going on a belated honeymoon and getting a puppy. So my husband said, we didn't get a photographer for our wedding, and we don't have any decent pictures of our wedding as a result. Why don't we buy a proper camera and document our honeymoon and having a puppy properly? And so I went into my research and told him how much it would cost to get a camera and some lenses. And he had a good laugh. He said, "You have £400, and you have to promise that for £400, you're going to learn photography. You're going to use the camera." I was lucky that I found a 5-year-old Fujifilm X-T1, battered and bruised. Had been through the wars, but it cost me only £200, which is still less than it would cost secondhand now, I think. And I got a budget zoom for it, and immediately I started liking the photos that I was taking in a way that I had not liked it before. Suddenly thought, oh, I can actually produce something that I'm proud of. Started still taking photos only of family and friends. Started experimenting, started becoming a little bit more artistic, and even have photos from the very early days of that I still be proud to have on my portfolio.
With the dogs and the husband, that's a good place to start anyway. That's perfect because it's practice time, especially around COVID time.
Yeah, I mean, I started before COVID, and then with COVID, we were supposed to only go out for an hour, but we were going to the park for 3 hours, 3 times a day, an hour 3 times, because there was no. If I had to bump into people, say in a lift, it would have been different. But we could get from here to the park in 10 minutes without seeing anyone. So we're not putting anyone or ourselves at risk. And I spent a lot of time in the park taking photos of the dogs. What happened then was that I quickly became bored of taking photos of the same faces. Mine, my husband's, the dogs, friends and relatives. a very small choice. So I started taking photos on the street just because I wanted to take photos of different places. I wasn't really aware of street photography as a genre of photography or what the rules or conventions were. Um, it was only when I started posting on Instagram and people were like saying, "Oh, the street photography is interesting," and I was like, "Street photography, what is that?" Let me Google it. My main interest is portraits. I like faces, and street photography was and still is a way of taking candid photos of people. I like it when people are not aware that they're being photographed, how different they can look. At this stage, I still didn't call myself a photographer. I was learning photography, thought of myself as a student, but did not know that if I was going to progress enough to call myself a photographer without feeling like an imposter. And then, for various reasons, I fell into a big depression. It got worse and worse and worse throughout a period of 2 years. I ended up spending 6 weeks in a psychiatric hospital, where I was very fortunate that a psychiatrist there found a cocktail of medications that brought me back to life, essentially, because I was just like a zombie. And between that and then the time of recovering, I started getting better, but it was a slow process, and it took at least a year before I could say that I was not depressed anymore. So there was a time of 2 years that I didn't touch a camera at all. I didn't think I was going to touch a camera at all. Even though I did not sell my photographic equipment, I donated all my photography books to the charity shops, and there were loads of them, and I regret that now. I wish I had kept them.
And now you're going back to buy them back again.
Yeah, but I wasn't photographing until I was on a holiday with family in Cornwall. First time in Cornwall, I thought it was so beautiful, and the people so interesting. I started doing street photography with my mobile phone, and had a great time. When I came back, I thought, this is it. I need to photograph. I need to go back to it again. I didn't want to have the usual battles with an old camera that I was having, slow to focus, da 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 da. So I sold a bunch of other photography gear that I had already in the past realized that I didn't use, because I went through a phase of using vintage lenses with adapters, very little money, lenses that I was buying in charity shops and stuff, to try different focal lenses and faster lenses that I could afford on the Fujifilm system. So it allowed me a little bit of experimentation, but in the end, manual focus is just not for me. Or vintagey, i.e. grungy and low resolution photos are also not my jam in the end. So I sold all of those, and then I dipped into my savings, because it turns out that when you're depressed for 2 years and change, you don't spend a lot of your pocket money. So I had saved quite a bit while I was, I was probably depressed. I took to my bed. I spent 2 years basically not leaving my bed. So I had some money that I'd saved by not going anywhere. And I bought myself a Fujifilm X-T5, which is my camera now, which is a camera that makes it all much, much easier. So I can stop thinking about the camera and start thinking about what I'm photographing, which before I found the battle. And so it's been a year now since I restarted photography. And this time I feel very differently about it. I don't feel awkward about calling myself a photographer. I'm very happy with the stuff that I'm producing and putting on Instagram. And I'm still a beginner, and I'm still a student in my view, but confident that I can get to the level that I want to get. Some people get there faster. I don't mind. I've got plenty of time. I'm not going anywhere. So I've got plenty of time to get there.
that's what I like about it. I mean, your stuff's so natural. I mean, it's even when you're doing portraits, you make sure the person's natural and they're in a natural environment and they're comfortable and they look like they're enjoying their photo being taken. Obviously, with the candid stuff, you get the stuff that we all get, which is amazing. But you've definitely got the eye. You've got the framing. I mean, you were in an exhibition that's just coming last week, so you're definitely there.
I like to make people look good. Um, Sometimes it clashes with what a person thinks is them looking good. But I sometimes catch funny expressions that would be embarrassing, and I don't like to post those. I like to make people look what I think is their best, and that I think is a natural look, not too posed, not too artificial.
Yeah, and that definitely comes across. The thing is, some things can be oversaturated, some things can be overcomplicated, but your stuff just feels natural. It's great.
No, thank you.
That's all right, no problem. So moving on to the next question then. What's your favorite 3 photos? I know it's hard. And why do you like them?
Oh, I happen to have my 3 favorite photos incredibly easy for anyone to find on Instagram, because the 3 posts that I pinned on top of my gallery were pinned precisely because of my favorite photos. Some of those posts have got more than 1 photo, but the first one in the carousel is my favorite. And there's one in particular. My most favorite would be one of my husband in a paper Christmas hat with some really strange light on his face and then the walls around him. And that was done with a Christmas light, made his lips much redder and his eyes much bluer. But the light is quite unusual, and that was done for real. And it was done just off the cuff, just playing about with mobile phone. In fact, my 3 favorite photos were done with mobile phones. In fact, 2 of them with the worst camera on the mobile phone, the selfie camera. Another one of the photos that I most like is a photo of myself mirroring this dog in sunglasses that I have on my t-shirts. So I have similar sunglasses and put on a similar expression. I like that one because it's lighthearted. It shows that I'm not always very serious about things, about myself. And I got lots of praise from people ever since I pinned that photo, and more people see it. People also thinking that they thought I was someone who doesn't take themselves too seriously. And my other one, also pinned up there, is a selfie of myself in the bath with my beard all foamed up, with a very serious expression. But that was just playing out for the camera. It's just most of my photography is done as play. I make someone look serious, or I'm making myself look serious. It's still, I'm still having fun. And that's why I like them, because they're very personal. I have not yet found a way of replicating that with my proper camera, because when I put it on a tripod and then use the remote control, and then I can't really see myself as well as I can own, I end up not being able to take the kind of photos that I take with the selfie camera on a mobile phone. And I found that those are the ones I can be the most creative.
It's the quite opposite of Mr. Mundane, to be fair, And when I do go to obviously your profile pops up and your new post comes on, like I say, it's a great thing to have those 3 pinned, because you see them every time. So it's a good repeat process, really.
I definitely have a lot more likes on those photos than any of the others, because yes, it accumulates. It's been a few years now they've been up there, and any new followers see those more than any other. Something about my photography that I can tell you is that until this competition, I have never seen a photo of mine printed in that size. Barely printed photos at all. The end goal has been Instagram. And now that I'm thinking entering more competitions and maybe having a big print of one of my photos, then that will change. But yeah, Instagram is what I'm doing photography for, is where it all ends.
Yeah, but I mean, you definitely need to print more. Yeah, 100%. Even if it's just for yourself, because when you see it like that and you see it on a wall, and the size, the quality's there, and the you feel more of it as well. You see, and feel more of what you're trying to create.
I haven't yet taken a photo that I thought, oh, I need this printed. I need to be able to see this on my wall. I would probably benefit from not necessarily printing, but living with photos that I take for a while before I consider them worthy of posting. But my account is like a diary. It's what happened that day.
So it's all about the experience. It's all about, the moment. So what advice would you give to a new photographer?
So first, I would say don't buy into any dogmas. There are too many of those in photography. You shouldn't edit. You should only do things straight out of camera. And those are ones that annoy me the most because I love editing. I think that everything is allowed. Right from the beginning of photography, people were experimenting and doing things that now purists still say that it can't be done or it shouldn't be done. But in practice, in the history of photography, those things were done and done right from early on. And it's nonsense to say that it's not photography if this, that, and the other. I think that rules exist to help us just so that we can focus and not be totally paralyzed by the amount of possibilities. Primes is for people who like to brag about their photography, not people who like to take photos. They're massive, in my opinion. All of the professionals that I most admire, when I read about their work, they use Zooms. You can learn a lot by reading, watching tutorials, but if you don't practice what you've read or what you've watched and practice it frequently, it's not gonna work. You have to practice every day if possible. Just not to think in terms of like, I can't do it because I don't have this, or my camera can't do that, so therefore I'm not there yet to start photographing. I've had things like that as well. It's just not very good for our confidence. Practice with what we've got.
Excellent advice. So, finally, then, what's next? What's your photography goals? What do you think's coming next?
Right, for me, and I'm a bit late on that already because I promised that was one of my New Year resolutions, was to learn Photoshop this year, and I bought the book and everything, but I haven't started. And another one is to master Flash on and off camera. I've been practicing a lot, but I guess it could take a lifetime for one to consider that he's mastered it. But I am been practicing a lot. The goal would be to recover my creativity. I've recovered from my depression in most respects, but my sense of humor and my creativity have not returned to normal. I hope they will one day.
Well, I mean, we were lucky to meet at the weekend for the first time ever. It was, you and your other half are amazing. Such nice people. You've given your time, I was just so glad we could, actually meet in person. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, you are one of the most supportive people I have ever met on Instagram. I was lucky that Instagram pushes you notifications about posts that people left on other posts that you commented on. So I was quickly able to find that you were also very enthusiastic in lots of other accounts. So I didn't have to think, oh, I've got a crazy fan here. No, you're just very enthusiastic and very supportive of people that you like. Getting some of your compliments has made my day several times.
Oh, you're welcome. I mean, the thing is, I just love photography. That's why I started this podcast in the first place. Just want to know about all the people that, take amazing work and just think, well, how do they do that and what's behind it and who are they?
There was definitely a lot of people last weekend that do amazing work.
And the thing is, they're all humble. They're all great. They're all positive. They don't, I haven't met anybody yet that's negative. I've said this many times on this podcast so far, talking to people, but I've not met anybody that's been a complete numpty yet. No, well, thanks for being my guest.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
No, not at all. And I'm sure we'll meet soon at some point. If I'm trying to get everybody together in a couple of weeks, if you're free. If not, then it'll be next time.